guys, how y'all doing today? It is February the 20th, 2024, and as you can tell, I got my shades on today. It's a pretty sunny day here in South Carolina, and it's pretty warm. I got a short sleeve shirt on. I'm actually wearing my merch today. Speaking of that, I think everything is just about finalized there. My wife has got everything on the Amazon page just about done, and the only thing that we have to finish up now is getting a P.O. box. I just want to make sure if there's any returns or anything like that people, and not to mention I have to have a return address on the packages, and I don't want to use my home address for that, so we're getting a P.O. box in order to have a return address. If there's any issues or anything like that, you can send it back. It'll go to my P.O. box opposed to back to my house. So last but not least is just getting that P.O. box set up so that we can move along with that. And my wife's got some pictures up right now. I will add that link here in the next day or two for you guys to check it out. I think the only thing that she has up as far as picture wise right now might be a shirt and a hat, maybe a cup, I'm not sure. I know that she has a hat up there already. But once we get everything figured out, I'll let you guys know. This has just been a learning curve for us. It's something we've never dealt with before. Just getting the process of getting everything up on Amazon took a lengthy process to get done. My wife had to do like a whole 360 picture of herself and so much stuff for verification of identity and all this they really are diligent to make sure that if you're selling stuff on Amazon that you're not going on there and trying to rip people off. So all that's almost done. It's just, like I said, it's just been a really big learning curve for us. We have never dealt with anything like this before, and we're trying to figure it all out. My wife's had to go through so many steps. She's had to learn along the way trying to figure all this out, but we're almost there. So I'll let you guys know as soon as that's done, but it should be in the next couple days, and all that should be done. Like I said, all we have to do now is just get that P.O. box set up, but payment, all that stuff is going to go through Amazon. It'll calculate everything in there. Don't worry, it's all going through the Amazon store, so I don't even think we'll even have access to even see any of the payment stuff. It's all going to go through Amazon, so you'll purchase the item, it'll go through Amazon, and we'll just get a notification that somebody's ordered something, and we'll get it ordered and shipped to you right away as soon as that's done. And I'm not going to drag my feet on that. As soon as there are orders placed, I will have those orders to you as soon as possible. It's only going to be maybe a day or two delay just for the stuff to get made. I'm not going to purchase $2,000 worth of stuff and just have it laying around my house. I mean, I just don't have the money for stuff like that right now. I'll get the stuff ordered as is ordered, and like I said, they're really quick there, so a day or two. The only time it might be an issue is if you order like on a Saturday, so it might be Monday until I can get the order in. So that's it, but I'll let you guys know as soon as that hits. Today I wanted to talk about the things I don't miss about alcohol. I was thinking about this the other day and was just thinking about all the things that I don't have to deal with anymore, and it just clicked. I was like, you know, I need to do a video about all the things I don't miss about alcohol. You know, we're always talking about all these other subjects about alcohol, but we never really talk about just the things we don't miss. There are so many negative things that come along with alcohol. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Number one, and this is all sporadic, I just kind of wrote a list down of all the things that I don't miss. So there's some things that are health related and some things that are not. It just kind of bounces around, but either way, I just figured this would be a good list for those of you that, like I said yesterday, you know, those of you that are that have quit and are getting those constant cravings, just kind of like a reminder of why you don't want to go back to it. And for those of you that are on the fence and you still haven't made that leap of faith yet, you know, think about all these reasons why. And because these will go away when you quit drinking or using drugs. I mean, some of this stuff, yeah, you're going to have a headache. I mean, you know, that you can't help it. Even if you quit drinking or using drugs or whatever, you're going to end up with headaches some days. It's just part of life. But you're not going to have one every single day. And that's the first thing I have on here is the constant headaches from being hungover and dehydrated. I was always having a headache, and I would take ibuprofen like it was candy. I took ibuprofen every day, all day. First thing I woke up in the morning, I took ibuprofen because my head always hurt so bad. And I just had constant headaches, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with the fact that my blood pressure was always elevated because of the alcohol. And ever since I removed alcohol out of my life, my blood pressure is like this. My blood pressure is actually low all the time now. It's never high. And every time I went to the doctor or to the dentist or anything and they took my blood pressure was always through the roof. I've said this in previous episodes I've done where I would go to the doctor and they would refuse to do anything with me. They would tell me I need to go to the emergency room because my blood pressure would be so elevated, and that would scare me really bad. The constant anxiety that comes along with it. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, when you stop, like you drank really heavy the night before and the next morning when you wake up, there's just this like plague of anxiety that just comes through your whole body, and it's hard to describe because you can't really put your finger on what's causing the anxiety. But it's the alcohol that's causing it. And you know, we use alcohol as a means to escape from our anxiety, and at the end of the day, it's actually creating more anxiety for us. It exacerbates that anxiety, and it just makes it so much worse. And like I've talked about numerous times, I would get so anxious in the mornings, I would have a hard time even driving my car because I would have this like just overwhelming anxiety. I would feel like I was going to pass out because I'd be all lightheaded and dizzy and all this kind of stuff like that. And I would be driving my car and I would get to a stoplight and I would feel like if I sat there for too long, like I was going to pass out, and I didn't want that to happen. And I'd be in the middle of traffic. But the anxiety, I do not miss that one bit. And of course I have anxiety sometimes to this day, but nowhere near on the level of the amount of anxiety I used to have when I drank. The constant nausea that came along with it. Now, of course, I deal with nausea on a daily basis because of my health issues that have come along with the amount of alcohol that I consumed. But for a normal person, to remove the alcohol, the nausea is going to go away. You're not going to feel nauseous all the time. You're actually going to be able to eat. The constant worry about where your next drink is going to come from. I've spoken about this before. You know, I didn't want to let anybody know how much money I was spending on alcohol, and if I took my debit card and went to the liquor store and used it, it was a red flag. My wife would have known right away that I'd gotten booze. So I was always trying to come up with a scheme or a plan or a way to get alcohol, so that she wouldn't notice what I was doing. And I don't have to worry about that anymore. There's none of this like constant trying to figure out ways to get some money so that no one's going to know. I just don't have to worry about that anymore. Trying to hide my consumption, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to worry about you know, going to the bathroom to get my couple of shots in the afternoon, or you know, sneaking bottles of liquor in my socks or in my pants or whatever it was. You know, there was always liquor hidden everywhere. And not to mention, I've got this written down here, but since I'm on the subject, you know, not just worrying about where my next drink is going to come from, but I used to also have this worry. I'd wake up the next morning and I had no idea where I'd stashed my bottle the night before sometimes. I couldn't remember where I put it. I would spend hours the next day just tearing things apart, looking to try to find where I put my bottle the night before, digging everywhere because I had no recollection of where I had put it because I had blacked out. And I don't have to worry about that anymore, especially the fact of, are one of my kids going to find that bottle somewhere? Is my wife going to find that bottle somewhere? Did I stash it in my car and I've got an open container in there and I'm going to get pulled over and I can't remember that it's, you know, underneath the tire in the trunk or whatever it may be? I don't have to worry about that any longer. No more problems with my wife anymore about that kind of stuff. You know, we're married. I mean, there's going to be problems. I mean, you have two people living together, you know, two different people. There's going to be issues here and there, but nothing like it was. You know, my wife was always upset with me because of my drinking, and it was just constantly. I'd wake up the next morning, not remember what had happened the night before. My wife would be all upset with me, and I have to, like, dig it out of her because she didn't even want to talk about it. No more. I don't have to worry about that any longer. No more problems with my family. I don't have to worry about my family being upset with me. I don't have to worry about what did I say to my brother the night before, or what did I say to my mom or my dad the night before. It's just all that stuff's gone. I don't have to worry about people bothering me, about my drinking, or any of that. There's just none of that anymore. Oh, constantly trying to cover up the smell of the alcohol. I used to keep mints on me all the time, a toothbrush, toothpaste, breath spray, all kinds of stuff. You know, and if I didn't have that stuff on me, I would panic because I'd be like, oh my gosh, people are going to smell the alcohol. You know, I don't have my mints on me right now. I don't have to worry about that anymore. You know, my breath might not smell the greatest, you know, if I ate something that's not that great, but I don't have to worry about smelling like booze. And the funny thing about it is, now that I don't drink, I can be in, like not too long ago, I was in the gas station. I was standing behind this guy in line, and he was probably 3 or 4 feet in front of me, but I could just smell the alcohol coming off of this guy. And it made me think. I was like, you know, that's how I used to smell all the time, and I thought that I was just getting by and nobody ever realized that I was drinking. But man, I wasn't fooling anybody, because now that I don't drink, I can smell it. And I wasn't fooling anybody. I'm sure people smelled it on me all the time. They just didn't say anything to me. I don't have to worry about the amount of money that I spent on alcohol anymore. Man, that is such a good feeling when you're not just blowing away your money every single day on booze. It is crazy how much money you end up. It's just like Jersey Girl, who's a subscriber here to the channel. She's always in the comment section. A couple weeks ago, she went and bought herself a brand new pair of boots with the money that she saved from her alcohol, that she wasn't spending on alcohol anymore. You know, keep yourself a little jar or something. Take that money that you would have spent every single day on your booze, throw it in that jar. You would have found a way to get that money to begin with. Take that money, put it in a jar, stick it to the side, and after a month, go back and see how much money you've got set to the side. Go buy yourself something nice with that. Take care of you. Buy yourself a present. You deserve it. You didn't drink for a whole month. I'm just saying, it's a lot of money that goes down the drain. I mean, it literally goes down the drain when we're drinking. Trying to get to the liquor store before they closed every single day. Here in South Carolina, our liquor stores close at 7 o'clock, and there were so many days I was fighting the clock trying to get there to the liquor store to get my alcohol before they closed. And man, if I didn't make it, oh my gosh, the panic that I would have. Don't have to worry about that anymore. I haven't stepped foot in a liquor store in almost 2 years now. Alcohol-induced injuries. I don't have to worry about waking up the next morning with a leg that's all busted and banged up because I fell down a flight of stairs the night before and I don't remember what I did. Or there were times I woke up and like I had a black eye one time and I didn't realize what had happened the night before. Or come to find out, I'd fallen down and smacked myself on the corner of a wall. I remember one time I went to a party with my brother when he had just gotten out of the military, and it was a bunch of people that worked for me at the time. We go to this party and we're out there just doing stupid things that drunk people do, and we're out there and we're wrestling around with each other. Well, this guy picked me up over his head and slammed me on the ground so hard that he broke 5 ribs. And I woke up the next morning. That night I didn't feel anything. And I remember what happened. But he picked me up so fast, I didn't even know what had even happened. I mean, before I knew it, I was laying on the ground. I had the breath knocked out of me. Something I never would have done if I hadn't been drinking. But since I was drinking, I thought that I had that liquid courage in me, and I decided I wanted to jump in there and wrestle with this guy. Well, I ended up getting body slammed so hard that I broke a bunch of ribs. Couldn't go to work the next day. Had to call off. Had to go to the doctor. It was a huge mess. Fuzzy mind and vision. You guys know what I'm talking about. You wake up the next morning after you've been drinking really hard and you've got that really like fuzzy vision going on. You can't see hardly anything and your brain is just so foggy. You can't think straight. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Here's a big one right here, doing other drugs. I've said this multiple times, but you're not going to find yourself in a toilet stall at 1 o'clock in the morning snorting cocaine off the back of a toilet if you're not drinking. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. You're just not going to encounter a lot of other illicit drugs or whatever if you're not out at the bar drinking late at night, or just being around that whole situation. When we're drinking, we associate with people that are doing other things like that, and the next thing you know, somebody comes along, they've got a bag of Coke or a couple pills or whatever it may be. You are so much more inclined to do an illicit substance after you've been drinking than you are a sober person. I guarantee you the majority of you wouldn't even think twice about it if you weren't drinking. But when you're drinking, that stuff just kind of ends up happening, and you don't have to worry about that anymore when you're not drinking anymore. Fake conversations with people, and you guys know what I'm talking about here. Going to the bar, having these conversations with people, and they're meaningless. But y'all are just at the bar. You know, it's what people do when they're drinking. You know, you're there talking. The next thing you know, you meet somebody, and before you know it, you guys are both feeling great, and all of a sudden, you're best friends. And it's only to, you know, you guys come up with all these plans you want to do together. You know, you guys are going to go to the beach the next day or something like that. Well, it never works out that way. And you just wake up the next morning feeling like crap, and hoping to God that that person that you were hanging out with the night before doesn't text you or call you and say, are we still planning on doing this? But it never works out because both of you just feel horrible. You didn't go to bed till 7 o'clock in the morning when the birds started chirping. And both of you guys end up sleeping all day long, chasing the dragon, constantly trying to chase that buzz, that great feeling that we get after you've been drinking. You know, you only get that little teeny window of time that you actually feel really good. And we're constantly chasing that feeling. And you don't have to worry about that anymore when you stop. I mean, it's neither here nor there. There's nothing to chase any longer. Feeling like I'm the only one. I know you guys know about this. You know, that feeling like I'm the only person who drinks this much. I'm the only person who does these types of things. And you don't have to worry about that anymore. Even though you weren't the only one, trust me. We've all done these types of things, but not having to worry about feeling isolated and depressed because of your alcohol consumption. The embarrassment that comes along with it. And I've talked about this multiple times. I used to go out and embarrass myself so bad. And I never even really thought about it until the next day when I would wake up that morning and go, golly, I can't believe I did that. You know, I went out and showed my you know what, and, you know, just acted like a jerk or whatever. Don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to worry about my face always being red. And I've talked about this. My face was always red. Always red. I was one of those people that when I drank, I'm already a fair-skinned person to begin with, but when I drank, my face turned beet red. And when my blood pressure started getting really high, my face would actually even turn purple. Or I got angry. My face would turn like a purplish color. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Even though my face does turn red sometimes because I get hot, but nothing like it was before. And like I said, the high blood pressure, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to worry about not eating anymore, because I'm trying to keep an empty stomach for the booze. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You're not going to sit down and eat a big old hamburger and a bunch of french fries or a salad or whatever it may be. You're not going to sit down and eat a big steak and a salad if you're trying to get drunk. You're going to eat a little bit of this, something salty to activate your thirst. You might eat some peanuts or some beef jerky or something salty like that, but you're not going to really sit down and eat a lot. Now, maybe some of you did, but I just know I did not because I wanted to get drunk. I needed an empty stomach in order to do so. I already talked about this, but not remember where I put my stash. Restless leg syndrome. At nighttime, I would get RLS so bad, especially if I had, you know, drank early in the day and then passed out and then wake up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. My legs would be moving all around. I couldn't stay still. I couldn't get back to sleep. My legs would be literally doing this. I mean, I would be laying there in the bed and my legs just going back and forth, and I just could not sleep. The shakes. I don't have to worry about the shakes anymore. My hands used to be like this all the time. All the time. And you can see now, I mean, they sit still, but it was like this all the time. If I had a drink in my hand, it would shake. I would lose my beverage. It would splash out of my cup because I would shake so bad. And having people over at my house and like parties and stuff like that. You know, you get to drinking, you start feeling good, and you don't want to stop. And there were so many nights, you know, where I would be at work, and, you know, me and the guys would, you know, hang out. We had like a courtyard at one of the places I worked at, and I'd get done at the end of the night, and I'd always have beer in the back of my car. I'd crack a couple beers, hang out with the guys, you know, maybe make myself a mixed drink or two, and start getting that nice little buzz going on. And next thing you know, hey, you guys want to come back to my house? Next thing you know, I've got like 10 people at my house. It's 12 o'clock at night. I've got kids in there. But I didn't want to let the party stop. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep moving and keep getting drunk. And I would have people upset my wife. I've got all these strangers over here, or at my other place I used to live at, especially at my old house, because I lived in a neighborhood, and it's not like where I live now. I'm way out in the country and up a really, you know, treacherous road. But, you know, people would just come over. I would invite people over all the time, especially my neighbors or whatever. My wife would walk out into my garage, and there'd be this whole group of people there, and she would just be like, shake her head and turn around and walk back in the house. And of course she'd be upset with me, and then I'd have to deal with all that. But I don't have to worry about that anymore. So with that said, guys, I just wanted to make a video today and talk about all the things I don't miss about alcohol, and maybe give you guys somewhat of you know, a little jump start, and maybe thinking about if you're on the fence about quitting drinking. You know, these are all really good reasons just to stop, because all that stuff pretty much will just erase out of your life if you stop using the alcohol. So guys, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here for today. I just wanted to say I appreciate you all so very much. If you have been watching the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I really would appreciate it. It's really going to help spread the awareness about the dangers of alcohol. I make these videos every single day. I know there's a lot of new people here. And like I said, I make these videos every single day. I talk about alcoholism, pancreatitis, liver disease, anything that's associated with alcoholism, any health problems, and just alcoholism in general. I talk about anything related to addiction or whatever it is. But I make these videos every single day without fail. I've yet to miss a day yet, and I don't plan on missing one anytime in the near future. I'm going to make these videos every single day until I just can't any longer. And I want to say thank you to all of you that continue to support this channel and watch these videos every single day. I appreciate you guys so much. And with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. And until tomorrow's video, I'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.